I just wanted to make you a little video, mainly because I was curious about the answer to this question, and most of my ideas stem from a sense of curiosity, so I'm sharing it with you too. I want to compare, with identical ingredients, the difference between a juice and a smoothie. I have all the ingredients for my favourite green smoothies. I tend to be more of a smoothie girl. And I wanted to see what that looked like and what that gave you in its replica of a juice. So we have, well, it's 1 cucumber, so half a cucumber each, 1 apple, half a lemon, like a stick and a half of celery, and this is 1 bag of 200-gram bag of organic spinach, and I'll split that between the two. So this will probably make me maybe just shy of a litre of smoothie. Don't know how much it'll make of the juice. As I say, I'm not so familiar with the quantities. Side note, most of this is organic, not all of. I do recommend buying organic where possible, particularly if it's in the Dirty Dozen. So look up Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 and it gives you a sense of which fruits and veggies are most pesticide laden. If you can't get organic, a fruit and veg wash is really good. A little squirt of it in a sort of washing up bowl, and you can just rinse off your veggies, and it gets rid of as much as of pesticides as possible. So when I can't buy organic, I wash them with this. So okay, so here we are. So you saw the ingredients. So you've got the apple, the lemon, oh, and a little bit of ginger, celery, cucumber, and spinach. I'm going to do the juice first, so I will chop this up now. Bear with me. Okay, so for the juicer, oh, by the way, I use a juicer. It's a slow cold pressed juice. I will put a link of it beneath this video. Pieces this kind of size, oops, so the juicer can chomp it down. It bites pieces off as opposed to the centrifugal juice. Anyway, I'll talk a bit about that in a different post, don't worry about it now. So yeah, small pieces. I took the rind off the lemon, but I didn't worry about pips, or I might chop this in little bits actually. So there we are, and I'll put handfuls of this in as we go. Catching the pulp and the juice. Push it down with this hand pump. Doesn't need much pushing down though. I use a couple of centimetres of ginger. It really depends on how warm and spicy you like it. Mint leaves are also amazing in this juice. Nearly done. Last squeeze. And let it filter through. You can see the ratio of pulp to juice. It hardly depends on the nature of the ingredients as to how much juice versus pulp. Obviously some vegetables have more fibre in than others, and some have more water content, so it varies a little bit. Just let the final few drips. of juice. Get a glass worth. So, using half a bag of spinach, 1 apple, a stick of celery, half a cucumber, a lemon and a tiny bit of ginger, you get a nice glass worth of juice. I'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons of juice versus smoothie. Well, not even pros and cons. There's neither. I don't consider that one's better than the other. But anyway, let's do the smoothie next. Quick. So my smoothie maker of choice, a Thermomix. It's not your regular smoothie maker. It cooks, it grinds, it blends. It basically has a really high-powered, really hardcore blade. It's not even sharp. It's the way it's designed. It just crushes things to smithereens. I've had this for about 4 years and I absolutely love it, but it's not cheap. So other blenders and smoothie makers would be perfectly acceptable. If you're watching this and you have one you love, feel free to comment, as I'm a little bit out of the loop because I use this for everything. Okay, so exactly the same ingredients. We've got the rest of the spinach and a little bit of ginger, the apple that I'm just going to very roughly just take the middle out of. Not worry about too much. I should have done this before I started filming. I'm not going to worry about the pips because it will just run down. So just take the main part of the round off, chunk that up, my celery, and that's about half full now, so I'm going to put some of this in and then add a little bit more once I've got more space. Just use this for the water. And add about half a litre of water. I can always add more at the end. When I'm making smoothies that don't have a sort of a smooth component, so for example nut butter or banana or avocado, create a really creamy consistency, whereas with this smoothie it hasn't got that kind of ingredient, so sometimes you don't get the sort of emulsification or the smoothness that those creamy ingredients can give. The remedy to that is a pinch, and I mean a pinch, of xantham gum. It's used in gluten-free baking to help the binding. And if you just literally use probably 1/4 of a teaspoon, less probably, 1/8 of a teaspoon, it helps just bring it all together. And it creates a beautiful consistency. Put the lid on, turn it on. This is noisy, I warn you now. Let's go! And then halfway through, I just scrape any bits down from the lid, from the sides with my little spatula. Add teeny bit more water. Another few seconds. I'm actually going to pour it into here because I don't have a glass big enough. Actually, I'll pour it into my glass. We'll see what's left over, compare it. Okay, so that's the equivalent of the juice. And that's the extra. So, half a cucumber, half a lemon, 1 stick of celery, a little bit of ginger, 100 grams, so half a bag of spinach, and an apple. Makes you this much smoothie. And this much juice. So, looking at the volumes, you might think, well, why would I go for a juice? And that's something I fell for a lot in the beginning, because yes, it is more expensive to make juices because you're having to buy a lot more produce. But if you think about it in terms of the nutrients you're getting in that, it's equivalent to this much. It's a much more condensed form of nutrition. Arguably, it hasn't got the fibre, so it's not a whole food, but for those who want to be a bit kinder on their digestive system, particularly after something like Christmas or a time of celebration where we kind of pound our bodies a little bit. I don't want to use the words detox and cleanse because I think they can be very much misinterpreted, and I think they can mislead people. Our bodies do a very good job of detoxing and cleansing on their own, but I do think there are times in life, depending on your own body's needs, depending if you're trying to fight off an illness or you want to, heal your body in some way, that juices and smoothies are, some of the best things you can have. I typically have a green smoothie pretty much every day, unless I'm out somewhere else or I haven't got access to my blender. I also have juices if I'm just feeling in need of an extra boost in some way. I also juice ginger, and I have it in my lemon and ginger water every morning instead of grating up the fresh ginger. I've got another video about that, so I'll link it. And I think I've got a blog post about it, and it's one of my favourite things to do. My juicer, just juicing the ginger alone is worth having the juicer for me. So that gives you an idea. It's really interesting for me to see that. Again, this is what I was curious about right in the beginning. So, juice or smoothie. And that was the pulp that you got. Not loads. And also you can use that in things. Okay, that's green. Some juice, if you juiced carrot and beetroot and an apple or something, you'd get a prettier red orange coloured pulp. You can add this into veggie burgers, you can add it into porridge, into the batter of cakes. You can add it into things. You don't have to waste it. Plenty of things you can do with it if you so decide to. Because again, that was one of the things that put me off juicing, because I didn't want to waste stuff. But yeah, so I hope this has helped in some way. And if you are looking into getting into smoothies or juices, whether it be this new year or something you've been curious about for a while, or you've got a family member or a friend who wants to give it a go, then I hope this has helped in some way. Cheers!